democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion. Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I am about focus.
Now, you see, let me say this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program, and that was the headline news there. We'll still continue with our talk segment this morning, tackling security challenges, the IGP's recipe at this time. Legal practitioner Jiti Ogunye, many thanks for staying tuned on the program, and also our public affairs analyst Biodun Sowunmi, many thanks for staying tuned on the program. Let's look at this in this angle, talking about Senator Issa Misau. You know, earlier in August 2017, Issa Misau raised a very crucial point, talking about Inspector General Police, saying Issa Misau, who is representing Bauchi Central, has accused the Inspector General Police, Ibrahim Idris, of collecting about 120 billion naira as special bill for special security services. Misau said that such unreasonable exorbitant security services are being rendered to corporate bodies, such as highly placed individuals on yearly basis across the country, and condemned what he called series of fraudulent practices in running of the Nigerian police. Now, looking at this with what is happening at the moment, withdrawing of this police personnel, how will you just oppose this together with these accusations or allegations raised by Senator Issa Misau? What's your take on this, Jiti Ogunye?
What the IGP has done, the directive, is a sincere directive to ensure that the police force is better able to perform its constitutional duty and statutory duty? Or is it a mere simulation just to be seen to be doing something? Or is it indeed a dubious attempt to create panic in the society and then generate more revenue, a la Issa Misau accusation? Because when you say that you are going to withdraw security, it's indeed possible that those who receive security protection and who pay for it, as we know, and as it's been confirmed by Mr. Mike Okiro, the chairman of the Police Service Commission, who said that yes, we do these things and it's allowed, we generate money. So when you threaten that you're going to withdraw security from them, won't they scamper to the Commissioner of Police that you have permitted to determine based on their allocations, you know, who and who should continue to receive such service? Won't you create panic so that they will scamper to these persons and then say, okay, what do you want? You want more money to be paid? We are willing to pay. So, look, what Misau said has not been totally disproved. Yes, the Inspector General of Police denied. The chairman of the Police Service Commission confirmed. What has not been determined is how this money is spent. What does the police do with this money? Before now, we all know, and I'm using JAM as an example. JAM was not generating sufficient money. And when that matter came up that time, because this is not the first time it will be coming up, the excuse was that the money they generate as internal revenue is used to run things in the organization, and that every organization does that because they do not have sufficient statutory vote or allocation until TSA then came and changed the narrative. Now the question is, if the police is generating money, so to whom is this money paid? Is it paid through the TSA as money that is generated into the coffer of the federal government for proper appropriation? How is it taken? How is it spent? How is it paid? Now, what occurs in Nigeria usually is that once something, of public importance, hit the headlines, those who are involved or those who are concerned or those against whom allegations have been made just make some defense, and perhaps they send their public relations experts who themselves are media practitioners and who know their way in the media to mop up such things. The only ones that are saved are the ones that are in the internet, because the internet does not forget. Otherwise, the paper over everything, believing that the news will soon die down, and then they revert to business as usual. So that's why I said earlier that I don't see sincerity or purpose in what the IGP has done, and that even if he was sincere, that alone will not resolve the security dilemma of the country. Nigerians and Nigeria are going through a lot currently. Life has become nasty, brutish, and short. People are being killed in droves in this country. Even in these parts, even in Western Nigeria, there are areas now you go to with trepidation if you're traveling. Between Ilesha and Akure used to be notorious. Owo to Ikare now, the Akoko area, has become notorious for kidnapping. So people therefore have this plenitude of rights in our constitution, right to life, right to liberty, right to freedom of movement, but people are just like journalists who are doing during the military era, what we call self-censorship. People are now withdrawing those rights from themselves. Stay at home. This is 9 o'clock. That's too late. What are you still doing outside? Don't you know what our country has become? So people are self-denying themselves these rights because of the state of insecurity in our country. And so when I see an IGP talk about security, I want seriousness. I don't see that seriousness. This one is coming in the wake of the statement made by the president. I dispatched the Inspector General of Police to go to Benue. I didn't know that he ended up going to Nasarawa. And then people then told the president, "Are you kidding us?"
So do you think
let me just anchor. Okay. You are the president, and this man is answerable to you. Then we told that, a query has been issued. Then the police spokesman, Jimo, said that no, will not be queried. So this is coming in the wake of that. And so if you know what, and I know you know, media management of information is, this may just be, that's why I use those 3 words: theatrics, publicity stunt, simulation. I've used such adjectives here on this program. Okay. I don't see seriousness.
Let me come to you, Biodun, at this time. Well, do you see this as based on what Jiti Ogunye just raised, that, well, this is coming because of the statements made by the president of Nigeria concerning the obeying presidential order, with the Inspector General of Police did not obey to go to Benue? Do you see this coming? Because in this same section here, it said, well, we'll give some worthy Nigerians opportunity to still have security personnel attached to them. So who are these worthy Nigerians in all of this, if we are indeed tackling security challenges in the country?
Yeah, in my view, I share many of the sentiments expressed by Jiti. The truth of the matter is, I don't see the IG coming out with a solution to the security problems we have in the country. What I can see is an IG who probably is embarking on a diversionary, track, making repeating statements which have become so regular that if an IG did not say it, people begin to wonder what is going on in the press. You know, when an IG continue to say, look, we will withdraw security men from VIPs. So when you withdraw them, where are you putting them? On the streets? How would you pay the bills? Do you earn enough money? And in any case, like the Jiti correctly said, the revenue, which we now know to be over 120 billion, you know, coming from these private individuals, you know, where does that go to? Is it going into the account? Why is the federal government not asking questions? What has been happening to the money? The fact of the matter is, the Nigerian police force have always been stating clearly that they've never been able to secure the money in the budget, you know, the full money released to them, you know, by the ministry. So what happens to the revenue they are generating on their own part? How come we have police stations without vehicles? How come we have policemen without proper uniform? And what is stopping us from recruiting more police officers to replace those ones which in any case are being paid for? Those private individuals and companies are paying for them. So what stops us from recruiting new police officers, you know, to take over their responsibilities, since we've appropriated for their salary? So these are issues which nobody is clear about, and what seems clear is that the IG is trying to divert attention from his recent problems, because they found themselves in a tough situation. He already has a problem with the military over what happened in Benue, and again through careless statements being made, you know, and we now have the police force under pressure to try and provide guard duties in schools.
Okay.
So, and that is the situation as it is currently. But that said, one must say one thing clearly, that we cannot continue like this. We need to now go back to the issue of state police. To centralize the policing system the way we have done now has not been able to secure the country. We've been on this since when? Since 1966, you know, and we cannot continue on the same path.
Biodun, you continue with the line of thought. Let's open the phone lines now to get a pulse of Nigerians on what we're looking at, tackling security challenges in the country, the IGP's recipe at this time. Let's allow your calls come into the studio. Do not make any hate speech. Well, do not attack any personality on the program. Ensure you are being objective with whatever you are saying, and please reduce the audio of your TV set so that we can have that smooth communication on the program this morning. Okay, continue with your line of thoughts, talking about state policing.
About state police, because when you actually look at it, when you move police officers from one place to the other, they don't know the local environment. How will they be able to gain, you know, the trust and confidence of the local people? What happens to, you know, being able to work with local communities, you know, and then ensure that we're able to protect those communities? But currently, our current system of moving police officers from the southwest to the northwest to south, where they are at times faced with hostile communities, you know, is not working. We need to go back to the drawing table, you know, and make sure that the police force is restructured.
Okay.
Or whether, if you don't want to use that, reformed. If you don't want to use that, devolved. Policing is devolved.
Many words there. Let me come to you, GT. Now, for disobeying the presidential order, do you think the Inspector General of Police should stay be in office at the moment? If the president can say, well, I didn't even know that he didn't go to Benue. Many wonder that he shouldn't be in his office at the moment. But before you give your comment on that, let's quickly join IK from Benue. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Emmanuel Ajay and the gentleman in the studio.
Good morning, IK.
Yeah, we are talking about tackling insurgency and insecurity in Nigeria. My take on it is that what are we not even talking about is this same IG, this as in Ibrahim Jiti, was the same person that was instructed by President Muhammadu Buhari to go to Benue as in peacekeeping. What did Buhari tell us? Buhari told us that he didn't even know that the guy didn't went there when he asked him to go there. Now he's the person now instructing that all the the VIP police that it should be withdrawn. It's not good water. If you don't comply with what the instruction that your master gives you, you cannot give instruction that it will be carried away. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, IK from Benue. Jiti, you quickly want to react concerning the Inspector General of Police not obeying presidential order. But now, should he still be in office?
You know, the way I answer that question is this. I won't help the president to enforce discipline amongst his appointees. This is call. So, the president is the president of Nigeria, vested with executive powers under Section 5 of the Constitution and all other powers that are granted to this president by other laws, including the Police Act. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So he is not expected to throw up his hands in utter resignation or whimper and tell us helplessly, oh, I sent the Inspector General of Police who answers to him, to his directions, to go to Benue, but he didn't do that. So why is he complaining to me? The president is the person we complain to. So whether the IGP should hold his office or shouldn't hold his office, it's not my own call. It's not for me to answer. It's up to the president. If the president does not feel embarrassed that he could send the Inspector General of Police to go to a particular state and he didn't go there, well, what's left for me to say? Look, Nigerians in 2015 wanted a firm and effective leader. A firm and effective leader. Because things went alright. Things went very, very, very bad. Nigeria wanted a change. They wanted a leader who will take charge. Because the precursor was that we had a president.
Just a moment, you continue with your line of thought. Let's quickly join Usman from Taraba. Man, thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good morning.
My contribution is that why Nigeria is always doesn't want to go forward. They just wanted to always bring cookie story to people. That's the problem that we have in this country. One, my problem with this issue of tackling insecurity, why we say that they should remove all the security from these people. Because of what? Is it there's any agenda concerning all those things that they want to victimize people or what? All this thing is not the problem that we have in this country. Our problem is not this kind of thing that they have been saying.
Okay, there's a background noise there. We can't continue with this call. Many thanks for joining us, Usman from Taraba. You can continue with your line of thought, GC. Okay.
There was a laissez-faire approach to governance. And then there was this Willie, former president, who indeed accused the incumbent then that he was the number 5 president, that all the women that surrounded him were also president, in their own rights and all that. So we wanted a departure from that. We wanted truly a president that would preside over our affairs with conscience, with courage, with wisdom, with competence. Okay? We don't want the president to come around and say that I didn't even know that happened. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. And so these days, on air, off air, you don't want to sound too hypercritical. I just look at where we are and I shake my head for our country.
Are you losing hope in this administration?
It's not about losing hope in an administration. Look, a government...
You'll continue with that, please. Let's quickly join Mustafa from Kano. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Mustafa.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much. About the issue you are discussing, it was a very good issue, but the problem I found difficult in this country is that why is it that all the time
you always want somebody to be fired because of one reason or the other. Because sometimes there are kind of issues that cannot be explained to the ordinary people. I mean, those people who are not in the system. So, and when he tells ID to go to Benue, he went there, but they say he was there less than 24 hours. So, I see no reason why we should be bugging ourselves with all these kind of things. Why he should be fired, not be fired. That is not the issue. You cannot get ID all the time, changing. The system will never work. We need people who can stand, who knows what is right and wrong. People who can do the right thing at the right time. Because most of the things that are happening in this country, people are not given the chance to show what they can give to the country. And we have very few loyal people to the country.
Okay.
It is the problem we are having. So we need to have people who can work. Let us forget our sentimental issues, tribal, sectional, and all those kind of things. So this is what I'm trying to make you understand.
Thank you
when we are discussing
very much. You've made your point in 60 seconds. Thank you very much for calling on the program this morning.
Let me just run off by. I don't usually have a repost to those who call into a program like this. It's on record. Nobody has called for resignation or the firing of the IGP. I didn't call for the firing. I said it's up to the president to decide what he does with his team.
No one has. In the course of this
Yeah, no one has. Well, I don't know where he's getting that from.
That intervention is really unnecessary, and it betrays a mindset. Oh, they want this IGP to be fired. I'm not saying that because ultimately the president bears responsibility for its government. At the end of the day, at the end of the 4 years, it is not the IGP that will be judged on the performance of this administration. No, it's the president. Because we didn't elect an IGP, we didn't elect an Abakia. That's when people talk about, oh, this is the problem. The president is okay. Those who are around him are the problem. I said, did I elect anybody? Nigeria didn't elect them. It was the president that assembled a team. He is the one that's going to be held responsible and assessed and adjudged by Nigerian people. So, in my public advocacy and all that, I'm nuanced.
Okay.
I don't, at the drop of the eye, I don't call for, fire him. So that, no, I don't do that. And it's important that we set the record straight, even when...
So let's, I don't know where he's getting that from. What we're just talking here is that the president has the right to do the needful. Many thanks for joining us, Peter from Bauchi.
Good morning, Emmanuel, and good morning to your guest over there.
Good morning, Peter.
It's been a long while, man. How are you doing? How's work?
Well, I'm fine. Go on.
All right. Well, Iman, I really just there's a word you asked one of the guests there. You used one word. Is it that she is losing hope in this present government? Yesterday, it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I made the comment, and I thought Ambassador was on the show, and I used one word. I said I've interacted with a lot of people, and people are beginning to lose confidence in politics and the government of Nigeria presently. Maybe that might give you a hint towards that question you asked. The truth about it is this: it pains my heart every day, whereby I see human beings not having, should I say, human conscience anymore. It's like the heart of human beings have become so stone-hearted, so that they don't feel and have sympathy for human life. It looks as if human lives are just like, and even animal lives are more better off than ours, really. We don't have conscience for human beings. We don't have melodies. People just feel, they think of themselves, think of how they will live alone. They don't value life. I keep asking myself, where are we going? Is this erotism that is going on in this country presently? That human beings will be slaughtered unnecessarily? We don't even do what is supposed to be right. Like most of us said, the last caller, he said something. It's hard time people should be doing what is right. Let us keep sentiment aside. Let us keep religion aside. Let us keep party affiliation aside. Go in there, whatever you're sitting on a particular office that you're meant to know you're supposed to be serving.
Okay.
Go there and serve. Not go there for your personal interest or for favoritism or to please somebody. Do what is right. Even if your boss is
Peter, it's 60 seconds. You've made your point there. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Still talking about this issue of tackling security challenges in the country. Well, it's quite worrisome that the Dapchi schoolgirls are not back at the moment. Does it not bother you that these girls are still in the Boko Haram captivity? What do you think the federal government should do more in ensuring that these girls are brought back vis-a-vis that's of the remaining Chibok girls?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that we have to cope with another kidnap of girls. Don't forget that, in my view, if Jonathan had the excuse to say that, look, we've never had the experience of mass kidnapping of children, we can no longer use that as an excuse now, because we've had that experience. So how come we fail to respond appropriately, to the kidnap of those girls? Initially, we were faced with denial, then people making different allegations, including the governor. The governor was forced to apologize. But that much said, the issue now, the question now is, how do we get the girls back? It's quite clear that if you look at the location, it's quite very far from Sambisa Forest. So there was no way how they would have gotten to that area. They are probably kept somewhere. Then you ask yourself, what is the role of our intelligence services? How come we have the state security services in the country, or Department of State Services?
Okay.
Which
you just hold your line of thought. Let's quickly join Omar from Kogi. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Go on with your comment,
yes,
please.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, my complaint is that in Kogi State, it's only our governor, Yahya Bello, or Bello Yahya, whoever is being called.
Well, that's the governor. You have to accord rest. Just a moment, Umar. That's the governor, a sitting governor of a state. You don't just use such comment on him.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, go on.
Our problem is that Fulani are killing people in Kogi State, and we don't know what we did to them. And we said that we stay in Kogi, and all the farm problem, people are running up and down. We don't know what you people can tell government to assist us by killing unnecessary people.
Okay, thank you very much, Umar from Kogi there. We'll give response to that. You can continue with an
So when you look at, you now ask yourself, what about the role of DSS? What we have noticed with this government, particularly this government, I must emphasize that, is the fact that agencies are not working together. If you look at the case of Magu, and the arm of the government to present Magu for confirmation, another arm of the same presidency would say the man would write reasons why the man should not be confirmed, and at the end of the day, defaulting his rejection by the Senate, because that's basically what they were doing. Both of them are under presidency. Now look at the police force. The Nigerian police force is under presidency. DSS is under presidency. We have not seen any evidence that whatever war we're waging, whatever rescue we are trying to carry out is being intelligence driven. We don't have that evidence. What you see is that the two arms under the two agencies under the presidency are not working together. That is the feeling people get. And when you have that, then we are in a serious problem, because everything now depends on whether we have to negotiate, and then pay ransom, only to allow, to give room to other people being kidnapped again.
Will that be the way? Will that be the way out of all this negotiation? Will that be the way out of all this?
I don't really think so. We don't know where they are. If we are to believe the Nigerian police force, what they need to do is we need to get the agencies, the security agencies, to work together with a view to uncover where those girls are being kept currently. And in any case, we must do everything possible to ensure that those girls are returned back to their parents.
Okay, let me bring you in, Jiti, to this. Umar just called from Kogi talking about the Fulani herdsmen crisis, not of the headers in the states that they are running helter-skelter at this time. But let's quickly join Joseph calling us from Jos. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning, Joseph. You are on live. Go on with your comment, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah.
Hello, Joseph. You are on live. Go on.
Yeah, your program is quite interesting.
Thank you.
I want to comment about. I'm speaking. I'm hearing you. Hello?
We can hear you. Go on. Go on.
Are you hearing me?
We can hear you. Go on.
I want to comment about planning element of building everywhere. Hello?
Okay, we lost connection with Joseph there. You can call back so that we can have you back on the program this morning. Back to the question raised by Umar from Kogi, talking about the clashes there from herdsmen to farmers. What do you make of all this?
The middle belt from Taraba to Plateau to Adamawa to Kogi to Benue, it's almost becoming a killing field. And the president of it has been going around, visiting areas where we had this mayhem and crisis. The permanent solution to all this problem between the farmers who are agrarian and sedentary, staying in their own farmlands and their own lands, and herdsmen, whether they be Fulani or other herdsmen, who are itinerant, who are pastoralist, is ranching, is confining. Look, there is no decent society in the world any longer. Be it Ethiopia, that has the record heads of cattle on the African continent, Botswana, Argentina, Brazil, Netherlands, United States of America. There is no country that allowed this kind of moving about any longer.
I beg you, Barrister Jiti Ogunye. Let's quickly join Peter from Taraba. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Hello, Peter. Can you please reduce the background noise there so that we can have you on the program this morning?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Go on with your comment, please.
Yeah, so what I want to contribute is that, about this issue and ground. See, one person, let me set up my case from this. One person can, if you see a perfect liar, the person lies to cover up something, and that person, as perfect liar, can cover up him or herself from head to toe. The only thing is to last, just for some days, is to leak. But if the person can't lie, the person can only succeed in covering his or her head, leaving the sort of open. And that is just what we might think that about the president saying that he didn't know that the IG did not obey each other. Well, I didn't believe in that, because the president gets report from the governor of the state. It's happening in his state, and he also gets from IG also about his order, about his work he's sending. So I didn't believe in that. And in that IG also, what about his direction? I don't know if you press people are there when he's giving that direction. You asking questions about the former direction of the police leaving the road, or the police are still there on their checkpoint. I don't know if press asking questions, his response about the directive that the police should leave the highway, but they are still there. And also, I never expect that the IG would still be in position.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter from Taraba. Those are your own opinion there. Okay, you can continue with
So I was saying that the situation is very bad, and the current solution is embrace northern animal husbandry, embrace ranching, embrace confining cattle and animals to certain places, allow this value chain to erupt. Those who will be doing grassing, those who will be, boost local economy and all that, and allow the agrarian farmers to continue to farm. This whole idea of, it's like an expedition. Going to villages, sacking villages, burning them down, burning yam barns, making people internal refugees in their own country. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And for me, each day I pick a newspaper or listen to radio or watch the television, I just die in installment. I'm telling you,
okay,
is this my country? What these killings? Why? The IGP that you're talking about.
You continue with this. You will continue. Very interesting. You just have to pick this call. Musa is calling us from Kano. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Musa. Hello, Musa. Can you please reduce the audio of your TV set so that we can have that smooth communication on the program this morning? Hello, Musa. Okay, now that's why we keep saying that anytime you want to call into this program, you reduce the audio of your TV set so that we can have that smooth communication. Many thanks for staying tuned with our editorial policy. You can go on with your
Yes, and I mentioned the number of states just now, and including Zamfara. Everywhere you turn in the country, even the south here, you have this problem. So we really need to save our country. The country is unraveling. I'm telling you, the country is unraveling. And this is not about blame game. This is not about saying the president is doing, is not. We really need to do something. That's the guy that you're talking about. And you ask a pointed question. Are we going to have a negotiation? If we move towards an election, why won't we have a negotiation? Because the government will be pressured to then ensure that, and there you do negotiation, you pay ransom, the insurgents or bandits have more money, and then they become more ferocious, and it become
I have to beg you again.
Violence.
I have to beg you again to just hold on so that we can take Mohammed from Kogi. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning.
Yeah, the problem that I have in Kogi State, herdsmen are killing a lot of people in Kogi State, don't know what is going on. People are running center, people are moving away from the local government.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, you've made your point. Well, thank you very much, Mohammed. There you have it.
It's the same report of gory killings, of killings. The international community, do you think that it will take us seriously any longer? When the Chibok thing happened, the way the international community responded and all that, is that the same way they are responding now? They've just dismissed us as serious people that you knew you had a precedent, so you still allowed this kind of thing to happen, and then you started blaming your security. Oh, soldiers withdrew, policemen didn't go there, and all that. There's no coordination. And that's the high credential this president had in 2015. A former military head of state, a former commander of, who had indeed fought to ward off incursionists in the Chad Basin area, during the Shagari era. He was the one who led it. So a lot of people repose confidence in him that that's indeed going to be an area in which he's going to score distinction. And so we're having all these problems. It could be that some people didn't want him to succeed, but whatever it is, people are dying. And one life lost can never, ever be recovered. That is final. That is final. Okay, so we need to do something about this. I presume that those who are in security services are hearing this now. This is not right. They need to help this president succeed. They need to do everything to deliver on the issue of security. And I'm not saying this as an adversary. I'm not saying this as a detractor of the president. No, I desperately wanted him to succeed. Why? Because before 2015, many of us who are not partisans, who didn't belong to the political party, looked at Nigeria from 1960 and how ruling parties had messed up Nigeria. Created confusion, the military will come and all that. And so, by West African standard, we now had a kind of change of government. So it became attractive to have a change so that our democracy will become stronger. Because we're a multi-party democracy. And then we had a party boasting that it will govern or misgovern for 60 years. And that there is nothing we could do about it. We had no choice. They were taunting us. So everybody wanted that change. So we wanted the government produced by that change, therefore, to succeed. We are desperate for that success. So if we are complaining now, it's not because we didn't want the government to succeed. It's because we so much want the government to succeed, but we are disappointed that it is not succeeding. So we need to put our acts together. The government really needs to do something. Because, look, those who are calling from Kogi State, why are they calling? They are calling because under our laws, we are not permitted to bear arms. They cannot defend themselves. They are defenseless. So we repose trust in the security agencies. They are the ones who have control of the paraphernalia of violence, the instrument of violence, to keep marauders at bay. So if people are exposed and they can't defend themselves and they are being killed with AK-47, AK-49, and the countries are washed or saturated with small arms and small weapons, and we have customs, we have the soldiers, we have whatever. So people, right now, there's an air of despondency. People are just confused. People don't know what to do. People are running from their villages, from their ancestral roots. They are being uprooted. They can't do anything.
Well, it's getting very interesting. Yeah, that's what we just have to look for the way forward for this administration. Biodun, what do you make of the way forward in all of the security challenges that we're having at the moment?
We've been moving from one crisis to the other. Go back into history since when we have had this centralized security system. If you don't have a Maitasini, you have a MEND. If you don't have a MEND, you have an OPC. You don't have an OPC, you have a Boko Haram. You don't have a Boko Haram, you have Niger Delta Avengers, Niger to X-Men. Look, it's quite clear. You cannot govern a country like Nigeria, you know, a multi-ethnic, multinational country like Nigeria, centrally. You cannot do that. You need to devolve power to, you know, to the regions or to the zones or to the states.
Is that the solution to this crisis?
Yes,
Okay.
to the security crisis is that we need to allow state police. I will join the support the vice president call that look, it's time to have state police. If you don't decentralize the Nigerian policing system, you will not be able to solve this problem. Obviously, you will not be able to solve it. After all, the states are already doing a little bit part of it. You have RRS in Lagos State, you have PRS in Ogun State, you have different police formations, you know, being paid for by the states in different parts of the country, being equipped, you know, even the logistics being supplied by those states. So why can't we allow for a better, a more efficient police force, you know, by decentralizing?
Your parting shot, Jiti Ogunye on the
program. You know, look at Lagos State, for example. I'm not saying that it's a perfect example. Now, every bus stop you go, you see at dusk, at dawn, you see police patrol vehicles. That white vehicle, you know, stationed there with policemen. That, even if they are only doing the job, it gives you the confidence that you have police presence. That is the future we can be. And all those things that you see are not provided by the federal government. They are provided by the Lagos State government via their security trust fund money that they're using. So I think that we should use that as a metaphor.
Okay.
To really rethink Nigeria, reorder Nigeria, reinvent Nigeria, refederalize Nigeria, because it is not workable to run a multi-ethnic, multilingual society, which ought to be run on a federalist model as a unitary state, masquerading as a federal
legal
state.
practitioner Jiti Ogunye, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Public affairs analyst Biodun Sowunmi, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. And that's how far we can go on the program, talking about tackling security challenges, the IGP's recipe this time. How far will this order go? Only time will definitely tell. Till I come your way again, I remain Emmanuel Ajayi. I say go out there and do something great for this great country, Nigeria. Bye for now.